how do you, within real estate, when you think about selling Sunset,
Oh my
right?
God. I mean, look, I would love to be on a Netflix show, but the day-to-day is
Is grind.
not nearly of what you kind of see on TV. Truly, our biggest vision is we want to provide the highest quality, highest living experience for every homeowner that we have or potentially will come. And so that's why we focus so much on having a brand.
Don't give them the secrets. I know you're not going to give them.
No.
You're not giving out the secret sauce of
No,
how to
I
go
won't.
do multi-million-dollar villas. Google it, figure it out for yourself. But like, how did you hone in on your process? Welcome to Comfortable Conversations. I'm your host, Jas Kirk, where we dive into the greatest gift life can offer, discomfort. As I always say, discomfort is your way home. Today, I'm really excited because when we talk about discomfort being the way home, we're literally about to be talking about homes and these really dope Mediterranean style villa homes that the partner of Buisier Development is actually here today. Aala Buisier, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited because one, design is in your wheelhouse, architect is in your wheelhouse. And I kind of just want to dive right in with you explaining what it is Buisier Development is and how you came up with this different style of design for specifically in Dallas, Texas, but it's going to be game changing for the market in general. And when it comes to real estate, I'm like, let's just have her explain.
Yes.
Let's have her tell the people.
So Buisier Development is an ultra luxury home builder that specializes in modern villas inspired by the Mediterranean lifestyle. So the founder is actually my father and my two brothers alongside myself. So in 2019, when this conversation started of starting to design and build ultra modern villas inspired by the Mediterranean, it was around the same time of COVID-19. And I had just graduated from SMU, and just kind of like everybody else, their life got super shaken up. And I initially had gotten hired at a very top consulting firm in DFW. And with kind of my start date being put on hold, I had an opportunity to be part of this crazy idea that I'm so happy to be a part of now. And getting that choice of, starting something that's so new to the market was a huge opportunity. And it had me actually end up not going forward with my consulting job.
Wow.
And sticking to what I know, which is my brothers, my family, and really having the vision of bringing Buisier Development forward with them.
Yeah. So it has this grassroots feel, but also what is the inspiration behind design? Like Dallas has, in any housing market, you have the modern style homes is what's really trendy. And people want new development, but now you're coming in and saying, we're going to shake that up even more and bring this like different style to the US.
Yes, so villas is not a concept that we created.
Right.
Villas come from, the Roman Empire, from all over the Mediterranean. So my family's actually from Libya, which is the longest coastline on the Mediterranean. And so my family migrated here back in the 90s. So a part of that was kind of, we were very in touch with our culture and kind of always going back to the Mediterranean. And, every summer when we'd go visit my grandparents' villa or going home, those were the memories that we built, was in the villa living. And so if you kind of take collaboratively from Italy to Spain to the Middle East to different coastlines of the Mediterranean, you'll see that they all have a similarity. And that's what we mean by inspired by the Mediterranean lifestyle, is having that space in your home to slow down, be able to connect, make memories, and be able to have your vision in your home.
I love that because when I think of home, it is truly my like sanctuary space.
Yes.
And I think it's so important that you are intentional with your lighting and the design and what you're putting in it. And I'm really big on not necessarily purchasing cheap just to fill the space, but how you can embed quality. And sometimes that takes time, like even within the COVID era, like builders and developers like had to source their materials from new places. And sometimes it like cheapened the quality of material? Is that something like you guys kind of experience?
So
Or
I feel like that's a very good topic to touch base on. So there's over 30,000 builders in Texas. So building a home, or a house, I should say, is truly anyone can do it. But building an ultra luxury modern villa, that's where, as you mentioned, it has to be intentional and quality really matters. And so each villa is designed to the land, and each villa is architecturally designed, and it has a design purpose. So for instance, we name each villas based on their characteristics, which gives each villa a personality. So we have Villa Alteza, which is a Burrs villa that we brought into Dallas Fort Worth, and that one translates from Italian to villa at height. Every aspect of that villa could not be put into like Park Cities, Highland Park. It was made exactly for that lot and exactly for that creation, which is really nice because having that uniqueness of the architectural design, of the finish outs, of the design, it really creates its own identity and personality for the villa, which is very similar to the homeowners that you'll get. Is each homeowner has their own creativity, their own space, and they end up connecting.
so
with the
they're
villa.
seeking something different.
Correct. Yeah, it's a very niche market, but it's a very exciting market because it's people just that want to be intentional with even where they live, and they want their home to be a safe space. And our villas represent tranquility. They represent comfort, and it's a place for you to want to come home to each day, even after like the challenges of the real world, of your job, etc. Like, it's supposed to be a place that you feel safe at all times.
Okay, so we're going to step all the way back and zoom all the way out, because I know
Yes.
y'all are like, what? We're talking about homes. Do I need to bring up my Zillow wish list? Like,
I hope we're on your Zillow wish list.
Right. So the one thing I'm hearing is this intentionality of you guys, your dad, your brothers, you came up with this concept, but it had so much culture surrounding it. And your actual like purchasers and buyers are people who have that similarity, which is really, really dope, because the in-between kind of fills itself out of like, you guys started with the intention, and that those people come with this same intention of wanting just something different that speaks to how they live, how they wish to live, the vision for their life and all of that. But then the reason why I want to step back is because it's like forging yourself in a market that's like cookie cutter, like everybody's copy paste. How do you, what discomfort did you go through? Of course, we talking discomfort is the way home. So we gotta know what discomfort you had. As someone who used to be in the real estate industry, it is definitely not one that has developers that look like us.
Yes.
So I want to start from like, yeah, you guys have created this, but how do you get to the root of knowing intentionality is where you want to go, why it's important, and how does someone else kind of relate to that? Not just in the home buying experience, but just in general. And you kind of touch on something for home buyers to be like, what intention do I want to live with?
Well, I think there's a few things that like go into that. Is one, I think every day being outside of your comfort zone is a big discomfort. Like, to be completely honest, me being here is a big discomfort for me, but I think it's challenging yourself in every aspect. And I feel like that's what myself and my team, I'm going to give you my brother's names, Dino and Salah, and my father, Mohammed. I think the big thing is we're doing this so authentically. It's part of who we are. It's our culture. It's everything that we talk about. And even on family vacations, which I guess are like work trips, we go out there and we try to see different real estate. We try to get inspiration. I feel that when you're authentic to who you are and you're authentic to what you're doing, everything that's challenging, you're like, hey, I'm going to get over that and I'm going to keep going. And I think you're only as strong as your team is, like they say. And I really think the sacrifice of my team is the biggest thing. And I think that's what kind of keeps us driving every single day. So even if it's not real estate, or if it is, if you're a realtor or trying to get into development, it's always just being out of your comfort zone, because that's the only way you can grow.
Okay, so then that, like, I have my questions written here, y'all, and it's like everyone, she's flowing to team and success. Like, everybody has that united vision and mission.
Yes.
And I love that you're sharing that. How do you, within real estate, when you think about selling Sunset,
Oh my
right?
God. I mean, look, I would love to be on a Netflix show, but the day to day is
Is grind.
not nearly of what you kind of see on TV. But I think social media is a big part into that too.
Okay, give us that. Give us
Okay.
the tea. Give us the
So
sips coffee.
I feel that sometimes when people kind of see our end product, they'll come and they'll check out, hey, look at Villa Horizonte. So when we close on a property, we like to throw villa parties to celebrate and give people an experience of, hey, this is what we mean by embrace villa living. Come check out this villa, whether it's going to be something that's on your radar now or it's something that's inspiration that gives you. But people only see the end product. They don't really see the dirty work that goes into it and all the sacrifices that happen on the job site, all the adaptation, all the weekend sacrifice, all the friends you lose, all of that stuff is not really seen. And people kind of feel that it's so luxurious, it's so prestigious. And then once you kind of dive deep into it, the dirty work is much larger than the actual fun part. But I think it's the journey. The journey is the best part of it all. And it teaches you so much about yourself. And I think being able to do it with my brothers is what makes it even more exciting, is that everyone on deck knows that, like, hey, even if you have plans on a Saturday night, those are going to be canceled if something comes up.
Yeah.
And everyone has the same vision. Like, my oldest brother has 2 kids and he won't show up for family stuff if something comes up with work. And just having that strong core values in our team is what really pushes us every day.
Yeah.
So not one person is kind of like the eye.
Yeah.
It's a team. It's a team.
Well, it's awesome because when you share, like, you're a partner, so it's several individuals coming together, even if it's family.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for you to share, like, the price of some of these homes so that people really have a depth of, like, the quality of material to the price and, like, the square footage and things like that.
Yeah. So let me kind of start with, we do 2 different types of things. We do a spec villa or we can do a custom villa. So a spec villa, by definition, is we are creating the architectural design, the interior design, we're funding it and we're building it from A to Z. And then we go ahead and we list it and we find the buyer in the end. Versus a custom villa is we work hand in hand with a future homeowner and they get to put their inspiration. We interview them, we make a questionnaire, and we really understand their day-to-day life to kind of put it all together. And then through the process, they're the ones who are funding it on a draw schedule. So our villas range anywhere from like 2.5 up. It just really depends on how large your imagination can go. And it also depends on the areas. But there's a lot of great people in Dallas who appreciate real estate. And there's a lot of different people moving into DFW. So it's been really exciting to kind of see people's reaction to it. And I just feel that what's really special is we're bringing on a full turnkey service, which is we have an architect who's exclusive to us. We have an interior designer who's exclusive to us. And we create these visionaries based on the whole idea of villa living.
So how do you, 2.5 and up, 2.5 million and up?
Yes.
Like, I was like,
I know.
Get that out.
I'm like, I'm saving for my villa soon. Not yet.
But 2.5, and it's like either you guys are putting this, all the money up front to design this and sell it. And how many have you guys sold? How many homes have you guys sold?
So 4, and currently we have 4 on the market. So this year is really all about scaling and growing and really getting our vision out there more. And it's been really exciting. And it's really cool to kind of reflect 3 months ago and see where we were and constantly grow and see what we can do together. But
how did you know to price, like, this was the niche market you wanted to be in, and then to price the homes at this price? Like, how did you know, like, we want to get into luxury and we want to be ultra luxury, and then we want to make sure it's this villa style, Mediterranean, just something different?
So it actually kind of started backwards. So the whole idea of like the villa living and doing the villa concept, my father came up with it. And my father would look into real estate. I remember when I was like 17, 18 years old, I would assist my father in purchasing land, and I would assess different neighborhoods, and I'd be like, hey dad, you should go in this area, and I would work directly with the real estate agent, the lender, and all of that, and work the transaction A to Z. So we've always kind of had a niche for real estate, and we always wanted to be a part of the market. And so when we came up with this crazy idea, everyone was like, hey, that's too unique, or hey, no one really likes flat roofs in Texas. Hey, you guys might have, a tough time selling these. And so when we brought up our first one, Villa Alteza, and it was actually in the midst of COVID,
Yeah.
my brothers and I, we priced it together based on kind of the comps in the area and the architectural design and the finish. We did some crazy ideas, like we put a dumbwaiter. That's a 3-stop dumbwaiter, a 4-stop elevator, a basement. We made sure, like on the left side where you had a neighbor, we put absolutely no windows. We focused it just strictly on the lake views, and we put like a rooftop putting green. We just kept coming up with these really intense ideas, and we would be like, what can we do to elevate this even more? What can we do to kind of drive the market crazy? And when we did that, we ended up getting an offer over asking. And that moment, we kind of just said like, okay,
We have this.
I'm like, we maybe started something, but we need to see where we can take this. And it's only just the beginning.
I as you're sharing this, I feel like everybody's like Googling Buisier development. Let me see one of the villas, which we love, and we love that for y'all.
Yes.
I think it makes me wonder, like, you got every time you're adding, how do you have faith that like this first one is actually gonna sell?
So it's believing in the vision. And the biggest thing is if you don't believe in the vision, then no one else will. And it's not necessarily of like, hey, let me add as many features as I can. It's let me put together a villa that represents beauty, tranquility, comfort, and something that someone can enjoy each day. And truly, like when we put a villa together, we are always like, hey, would we add this? Would we enjoy this? And we try to take inspiration from like all over. Anytime we go to Mexico City, we're like, hey, look at this cool greenery that we can incorporate. We always try to come up with new inspiration. And we honestly feel that anyone that's on our team has to believe in the vision. And if you don't believe in the vision, then someone else will.
Yeah.
And it's always about just having that hope. And I feel like when you're authentic and you genuinely believe in something and you care for something, there'll always be a way.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Always.
If there's a will, there's
And
a
I
way.
feel like our passion is just so high. Like a lot of like we've had a couple of really exciting transactions. And at the end of the deal, when you're closed and you get to meet this crazy homeowner that's very high net worth or an athlete or whatever it is, we're always thinking back and we're like, oh my God, what was so exciting is like how we didn't know where we would end up. And we kept trying and we'd open up every door that we possibly could. There wasn't one door that we like, don't leave knocking.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a hustle and a grind in a different way.
Yeah.
And I asked that because I think Dallas has a lot of real, like, I don't know the specific numbers.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know the numbers as far as like real estate agents, but across the country,
Yes.
like the median, I did Google this, Sean. What is the average like salary of a real estate agent? It's like 40,000. So I was like, everybody's a real estate agent. And I shared selling Sunset because I think so many people have aspirational dreams to sell these multi-million-dollar homes, which you have multi-million-dollar homes. But even the work you all put in as a developer, how do you align with the right agents who have the right work ethic and drive and vision in what you guys have, that this is not just another like option for their client, but the home?
So it's interesting. We have clients that reach out to us directly. And then we obviously have clients that reach out to us when our project is, our villas on the market. So for us, what we usually see is that the homeowner or potential homeowner is already connected to the villa, they'll start just checking our social media. They'll be on our website subscribers. They'll be kind of already trying to understand more of the villa. And a lot of that is them having an emotional connection because your buyers in this market are not on a need basis, they're on a want basis.
Oh, wow.
So they're
Okay.
picturing themselves of hosting their family Christmases, Thanksgiving. They're visualizing what their future family could look like in this villa. And it's been kind of every transaction we've realized that the homeowners are like, you have no idea. Like, I can't believe I'm living here. This is what I've
Yeah.
always envisioned. This is a big part of my story. And for that, I think that is the biggest part. Is that's why it pushes us to do everything we can in our sales force and making sure we hire the right people and making sure that everyone who's representing us, it's not just selling a home, we're a brand and we're trying to build that brand. We're trying to build a different style of living for homeowners in Texas and give Texan homeowners the best living experience they possibly can get.
Every time I'm trying to pull out, yes, your niche market, but also the listener who can be inspired by this. And when you talk about, like, you guys really found the pain point of, like, this isn't a want, it's a need. I need to have it. I see myself in it. I envision myself. And it's like the amount of detail that you did on the back end for someone
Yes.
to feel that emotional connection of, like, I'm not just going to live here for a year or so. This isn't a quick purchase. This is like everything. And like you guys interact with them at so many different points. So that now makes me want to ask you about, like, creating a brand. It's bigger than just the home. It's this entire brand and how they even engage with you guys before the home.
Yeah, so it definitely is. Starting a brand from scratch is very difficult.
Yeah.
And especially that we jumped into kind of this very luxury price point and very luxury market that, it's every villa takes about 8, 10, 12 months to build.
Okay.
So when you're throughout the process, it's not like, hey, in 3 months I'm going to be in a new project and this one's done with.
This is the baby right
Yes.
now. And birthing it is the
Yes.
length of childbirth.
And truly, our biggest vision is we want to provide the highest quality, highest living experience for every homeowner that we have or potentially will come. And so that's why we focus so much on having a brand. So trying to build that vision, trying to build that brand, it's all about reputation. So Buisier Development, that's my last name. So when, say, a homeowner moves in, it's not like, I'm going to go disappear. They know where my office is. They know my last name. We have each other on social media. We're constantly in communication. You're literally in a lifelong relationship with your homeowners. And so you have the opportunity to take that into your advantage and, accommodate everything as it goes. And that's what we really take pride in, is the customer service. And then we also really take pride in our quality. Every item in that villa is warranted. And anytime they have an issue, they reach out to us directly. And there are rumors I've heard that, homeowners end up hating their builder. And I'm just like, we haven't experienced that yet.
That is not a rumor. That is like fact. It is people like trying to sue their developers and builders because they put the AC on the right side of the house and it's Texas and you need it on the other side because it gets 108 degrees most of the year. Like,
yes. But what we really, that's where we're building the brand, is we want to keep all of those relationships, and we care about those relationships.
Trust, integrity.
Absolutely. And it really is our last name. It's our family. And I live in Dallas. Anytime I can go out, bump into one of my homeowners, bump into one of my new homeowners, like we go to their celebrations. One of my clients,
family.
Yeah, they just had a villa warming party. We were there. We had so much fun. We were just at a birthday party. It's just, you create a family type of relationship, and that's what we feel like our brand is bringing.
Yeah, it goes beyond like purchasing a home. You've
for sure
been included into this new club of sorts of, like, we're with you through the end. We didn't just build a home and say, here, there you go, your agent, everybody.
And it's like your job doesn't just end when, like, the title switched over, everything clears. that's when it just begins, because they have so many questions. They want to ask, like, hey, how do we use this? How does this function? Or, hey, we want to get this installed. Who do we ask? So we're kind of always there, and it's literally a lifelong relationship.
Yeah.
And it's honestly really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It makes me wonder, like, what made you, and I think someone else would ask the same question, like, what made you guys consider all those little details of, like, from the moment, yes, it's turnkey, but after that, we want to stay connected to you? Because how many people can say they have a relationship with the builder of the home or the developer or whatever? Like, yeah, within your network, sometimes you know those people, but like your actual home, let me text Aala, let me call them and say, we have this issue, and not have this like friction or tension, but a positive.
I think it really happened naturally. What we like to do is we treat all of our potential clientele the same way. Like, we build authentic relationships, and you end up wanting to know more about their life, and you end up being like, oh, so like, how old is your kids? How old is this? And then you have some overlap in, your day-to-day life. And from that initial relationship, it continues to grow. And my brother actually always says, in relationships, it either goes up higher or it gets worse. It never stays the same.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's important with the way that you communicate with your clients and your network, is you want to always make sure that any conversation, even between you and I, our relationship grows for the positive.
Yeah.
It doesn't get worse, because nothing stays the same.
Yeah. You left us with a gem.
I'm like, my brother taught me that one.
Really good snaps to him.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Like, it's, as I'm sitting here, I'm just like, man, yes, I've gone through, even myself, through looking at homes on Zillow or, whatever sites there are, but this really makes you begin to look at home as your base. And let's start from this blank canvas of what does that look like? What does that feel like? And there are developers and builders out here who actually care about there's an alignment. And it's just like really touching.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way. We've been trying to present it and try to, express our vision the same way. And I feel like the more you talk about your brand, the more you work hard towards it, it connects with more people. And I feel like relationships are the key, especially in this industry, and having the passion.
Yeah.
And truly, I feel like you can't do something every day if the passion is not there.
Yeah. And you also, every question you brought up authenticity, and often authenticity is like a buzzword thrown around, but I hear the heart behind it. So how do you help individuals, like, not just throw fluff at a word and say, be authentic, be intentional, and like have the depth and meat behind that?
Well, I think with everything you do, your actions need to back it. So for me, per se, like in our situation right now that we're talking about, is honestly, I feel like inspired by the Mediterranean lifestyle. We build villas, and it's our last name. So I come from the Middle East, which is in the news and the media, it already has its own definition.
Yeah.
But I get to experience something that's so positive by me expressing this experience and these villas with you. It's part of the way I grew up. It's where I grew up. It's the culture. And it honestly gets to teach maybe people who had a different perspective of people who come from that side of the world or come from any different walk of life, that, hey, they're not actually drawn out to be what you think. There's so much uniqueness. There's so much positivity that comes. And so for me, when I say authenticity, like, I want to be able to make a positive mark based on like who I am and what I believe in, but based on my actions, not really my words.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not too good with my words.
Listen, in the age of social media, you got to be careful what you say.
100%.
100%. You got to be intentional with your words. But as you were talking, the authenticity to action makes me ask about process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys have created something. What is that process? And how do you kind of keep it where it's still it's not this copy and paste. Like
Mhm.
people can see you guys do these beautiful villas and then say, I can copy and paste that. What differentiate? And don't give them the secrets. I know you're not going to give them.
No.
You're not giving out the secret sauce of
No,
how to
I
go
won't.
do multi-million-dollar villas. Google it, figure it out for yourself. But like, what really? How did you hone in on your process?
So our process that starts from kind of scoping out the area, scoping out the land to kind of the concept of the build. So the villa starts by the floor plans and then it elaborates into these general designs. And then from there, my brothers and I, we start incorporating in our own ideas. And when we don't copy and paste, every villa has its own characteristics
Okay.
and namesake. So in the beginning, a lot of people didn't comprehend, like, what does it mean Villa Orizzonte? So Villa Orizzonte is designed to have 360 parallel lake views, and Orizzonte in Italian translates to Villa Horizon. It's where the earth and the sky meet. So you get to experience sunsets, memories, beautiful evenings by the lake with your
Yeah.
family, enjoy your small sip of coffee, and you get to enjoy the nature. So I feel like having that as a ground and building off the characteristics based on the design, it really makes the villa speak for itself. And when you create that and the homeowner connects with that,
Yeah.
you're going to want to continue to build different ones that have different design meetings, different identities. So for us, we can't copy and paste it because every villa has an identity. And we've actually gotten like approached by some really, I guess, interesting individuals who are like, hey, I have a 10,000 square foot design. Will you guys build it for me? I love your quality, but I don't want to change this facade. I don't want to change this design. And we reject those because
Yeah.
it's not transactional in anything that, we put our name on. We want to be proud of it all around. Of course, we want input from homeowners, but we can't take another developer's architect's design and put our name on it just for, a transaction, be like, hey, yay, we closed on this. That's not how we function at all.
It's an entire creative process.
Yes.
Like I had no idea. Like the name is just having this transformation as well of like
Yes.
Villa Azul. Like
So right now we're working on one in Heath, and it's called Villa Eterna, and it's where every moment lasts forever. So what we want to create in this villa is where all your memories, all your holidays, all your positive celebrations, you get to step back, enjoy the moment, and relive those every day. It's kind of like a place that you don't want to leave it. So we're really emphasizing on that emotional feel because it's really funny because even when we walk into the villas and they're completed, we're like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, wow, we nailed it on the head. But then we obviously noticed some things that we're like, okay, we know next time this is what we're going to elaborate on. There's always room to make it better because there's nothing that's perfect, but we get wowed at the end of it. And we're like, wow, we've seen this from paper until completion and we're
Yeah.
still wowed. So it's a really exciting process and it definitely hits our emotions. So it's amazing when our homeowners feel the same way.
It's interesting because now I understand why I have a villa party because
Yes.
it's like you guys created this really dope concept. It comes to fruition. Now we have to celebrate the heart and soul, and you kind of welcome other people into your entire creative process.
Yes.
And then you give the keys to the homeowner, like, okay,
Yeah.
later Gators, enjoy.
Yeah. And actually, like, we've had homeowners who are like, hey, can you throw us a villa party? And I'm like, I would love to. And it honestly gets you to be a little bit more creative. So we had one in April for our homeowners and, working with them for 12 months, I knew exactly their personalities and I got to partner up with some local brands. I got to showcase similar visions and got to do some amazing giveaways. Like we've partnered up with JSX in the past. We've given away some private jet tickets. We've partnered up with Master Jeweler Rockwell. They'll give away like diamond bracelets, diamond earrings. So it's really fun putting together these concepts that people are like, wow, that's crazy. And you're like, we can get crazier.
Yeah, it's fun that like you brought up passion, but you're like every day it really does take something else to be like, no, we can try this, have faith in this.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask because imagine being someone who's like, but I don't have the resources
For
that
sure.
Ayla had.
For
I
sure.
don't have the finances that Ayla had.
For sure.
How can I do this, create this? Where do I start? Where do I begin? And it's not, if it's real estate development, wherever, how can I see myself and allow that passion to drive? Because passion does fade when it's just the mud of the journey.
Well, I think there's no secret to it. I think you just really have to show up and just continue showing up for yourself. Like, one thing I try to live by as much as possible is don't do what you feel like doing, do what you say you were going to do.
Yeah.
And I think that if you tell yourself that every single day and you keep trying and you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and I feel like when you're kind of at a plateau that you're like, hey, I'm doing everything, but nothing's changing. I've gone through that so many times, and I'll just go on the internet. Like, I was reading DCEO and I saw this woman who's also Middle Eastern who I thought was super inspiring on DCEO. I shot her an email and was just like, hey, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to learn more of how I can grow my business, how I can grow as an individual and learn from you. And she mentored me for a little while, and she taught me that everything is getting out of your comfort zone. Go to those events, go network, go meet new people, go talk about your brand, go do everything that you can after work to really make your 8 to 5 or your 9 to 5 count. And kind of hearing it from people who have already made it on the top, it really shows you that like anyone can do anything. You just really have to stay disciplined and keep going. And I don't think we're, like where we're at our end goal, which I'm very grateful for where we are, but this is just the beginning. And I love meeting new people. I'm so happy I met you.
Yeah.
And you get to learn from everyone around you. And that's the biggest thing, is having authentic relationships and just keep putting yourself out there.
Yeah. I always say I'm just getting warmed up. Like,
exactly.
I'm
like, I just stretched.
Like, this is just, we're not even at the warm up. We just got in the gym. Like, we'll get there. Don't you worry. But it's inspiring to hear you say, like, just keep at it. If you feel you're at the plateau, start seeking something outside of yourself and someone who's gone on that type of journey or path. It doesn't have to be exactly the same.
100%.
But it needs to be something that you can see, because oftentimes we look left or right and it's like, this person is doing this or this person's doing that. But it's like, look ahead. You have to 100%. Look ahead, because that'll be the thing that helps you keep going. And I have so many amazing different mentors. Yes. And I often hear like people ask, and this is a question for you, like, it's hard to find mentors. And sometimes I'm like, I just think I believe that's not who's in alignment for you.
Well, I think it's your perspective. Like, I feel for myself, like I was very blessed that I get to work alongside my father and my two brothers. Like, my brother Salah brings so much different to the table than my brother Dino, than my father. And not being able to learn from the people around yourself, that's doing a disadvantage to yourself. So even though one of my brothers is a construction manager, the other one runs more management of the company. If I don't take those two sides of them and see different leadership skills and different things that they do every day, whether it's small tasks or large tasks, and I'm not learning from it, I think it's perspective. Anything can be a learning opportunity if you have the right perspective. And you don't have to learn from the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You can learn from someone's mannerism, from their morals, from being genuine. You can learn from anything. It's truly about your perspective and allowing yourself to learn from people around you. And I think that's the biggest thing, is because anything can make a positive difference on you.
Yeah. So how do you keep a growth mindset in challenges? Because that's also, I feel like, something someone will say, it's easier said than done.
100%.
The challenge is, the discomfort is real. It's the way home, but it's
real. Yes. Trust me. I'm like, I literally got a call this morning and I was like, okay, we're going to pretend this didn't happen. But honestly, it's really about setting small steps for yourself and making one baby step a day. So what I like to do is, at my desk at work, I have a vision board, and I update it all the time. So sometimes it'll look like a big collage next to my desk. I also make one at home, and I make small goals, and I try to make weekly goals. So some weekly goals, I'll be like, let me meet 5 people this week. And I'll try to be intentional, find different events to go to, find different things that align with what my vision is, and put myself out there. And then I always try to reflect on who I was 30, 60, 90 days ago. And I try to see like, hey, have I learned from this? Hey, what would I do differently now? And for us, we're dealing with like very similar challenges. It's, hey, let's get funded for this. Hey, let's try to come up with this concept. Let's try to do this. So I try to put myself in those situations again and see how I think differently. And it's all about the small steps and holding yourself accountable, like literally showing up. Sometimes today doesn't feel like a good day. Maybe tomorrow won't. Maybe the following day you'll see no changes. But if you keep going at it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, something will happen.
Yeah. I often share with people, like, you don't have to get too high, and you also
100%.
don't have to get too low. Like
100%.
the highs, like you want to latch on and be like, yes, this is so
oh my gosh,
amazing.
the highs, you're like, let's go celebrate. And
Yeah.
then you're holding yourself back because you cannot make emotional decisions.
Yeah, you can't get too high. You can't get too
100%.
low. You stay in that middle of like, yes, we celebrate that win, but we're going to continue to trailblaze forward.
Yes.
Something else you brought up that really is like a huge point is like your values. Like people actually knowing what you value, because I also believe that's important for you to understand, what does success mean to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like even as you create these amazing homes, like it's not just like build a luxurious multi-million, like the dollar amount is the dollar amount, but there's so much intention behind it, and like the value and like morals and just so much that you guys pour into this. But it makes me wonder, like that's just like your personal, how like personally how you feel and what you align with and what success looks like. Success sounds like it's cultivating and creating this home that resonates with someone's deeper emotional like wants and needs, versus just like, let me purchase the next amazing real estate buy.
I think success is defined differently for everyone. And I feel like my definition of success changes every day, especially like with different goals that I tap into. You feel like, hey, I thought I would feel like this when this happens. However, when you hit like a jackpot, when you hit your goal and you mark it off, you come up with a new goal and you're like, hey, I'm not even halfway there yet. I have so far to go. But I think for me, it's what I'm really lucky about. It's like I get to work alongside my brothers, and we all have the same vision, is to be the best developers, the best, give our homeowners the best experience, to build the most beautiful but quality villas. And I feel like to me, success is being able to grow with people that you care about and that you trust, and like being able to have a good circle, but still succeed and share that with each other. I think to me, that's like the biggest thing, because I wouldn't want to do this alone.
Yeah. It's a hard like having your own business is difficult.
For sure.
My next question becomes like, as someone who does run a business, how do you find the fun in life? Like, how do you not just become work, or are you still trying to balance that?
Okay, anyone who tells you that like work-life balance is very common, I'm still trying to figure it out. But I feel my husband literally always says, all you and your brothers talk about is work. And he was like, that's all you guys talk about. But part of it is fun.
Yeah.
So kind of stepping away and, you know, having normal conversation. Like, of course, like we dabble about like, you know, news, different things that's happening. And we do have our own personalities, but I feel like a lot of who I am in the office is what builds me outside of my job. And a big part of like what I do became part of my identity. And it made me grow so much as a person. So I kind of don't have that medium, because when I get super excited, I'm like, oh my God, I want to keep going. Because then if I'm super upset, I'm like, let me think about what I can do better. But it definitely does get a little bit lonely, because some of your friends kind of fall off the wagon, but the people that appreciate you and understand your goals and have similar goals to you, they'll always be in your circle. And you should surround yourself with people who want to see you grow and want to see you be the best version of yourself. Like, okay, if you don't get to go to every single birthday party, if you don't get to go out every Friday night to the dinner and whatever, that doesn't make you like you're not having and like also too, it doesn't make you any less. And like, you shouldn't apologize for having goals, and you shouldn't apologize for wanting to work towards your goals, because at the end of the day, like when all this fun fades out, all you have is like you yourself in the mirror, and you want to make sure and like tell yourself like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Not like, hey, I should have done this, but actually I went out and you're kind of like cutting yourself short, and it's not worth it. In my opinion.
It's not, it's like the discomfort of, I think so many people struggle with like the discomfort of being liked or disliked. And then lifestyle balance really is more of an ebb and flow. Like it's this, I often say it's an ecosystem of like some will take priority over the others, but each one you're intentionally filling your cup, and you don't get to the end of your year. You don't get to the end of 90 days and not having poured into something, but the right people will come along and respect. Like in this season, my priorities are this.
100%.
And I love you. Like
absolutely. And being honest and transparent, and like you shouldn't, it's so hard to say you shouldn't care what people think, because I feel like everything you do, even the way you post on social media, you're like
me.
Yeah, you're like, I hope someone comments. I hope someone reshares it. I hope someone thinks it's cool. It's so cliche to say like it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, if you're comfortable with who you are, you have a good moral compass, and you're not hurting others, I really think like the right people will gravitate towards you. And maybe I'm not a good example. Like I don't have the biggest social life, but I am super proud of people that are in my life, and I really wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I encourage, like, I live a simple life.
Yes.
Like I genuinely enjoy it. And I used to be someone who was like seeking everything external.
Yeah, and you bend yourself backwards over for it.
And then you got to go to therapy, and you got to pay for that. It's costly because you're sitting somewhere like, I'm exhausted and I don't know why. And it's like you, one, haven't set boundaries. One, you haven't began to explore yourself and what you like, and
100%.
like being confident in your nose. My last question is, we've talked about a lot today.
Yes, we have. I'm like, I feel like everyone knows me so well now. I'm like, I'm pretty quiet.
No, that is the point of things. But like, what is something that's uncomfortable or uncommon, or that we don't talk about, that you want to bring to the forefront and make comfortable for people to either talk about, know, you name it?
I think your shortcomings. I think when you talk about things that maybe you failed at, which I don't think any failure is permanent, I think being able to address and realize like, hey, this didn't go as planned because I didn't do this accordingly, or I didn't act how I was supposed to, and kind of holding yourself accountable, whether it's with you and yourself, whether it's with you telling a family member or a friend. I think kind of expressing the negativity, not just the good in your life, is a big thing, because it also shows like you're human, you make mistakes, and you're just normal. You're trial and error just like everybody else. And I think the more you talk about like, hey, where you could have been better, you can hear some positive feedback that maybe you can use next time around to actually do something better, and use the advice, use the community around you, use people around you to get more intake, because sometimes two heads is better than one. Sometimes hearing it from someone else, it'll hit you more than in your own head. And I feel like hiding your shortcomings or hiding where you could have done better or your failures, it's not worth it, because you're kind of hiding a part of who you were. And I think that when you're showcasing who you are, you want to show that like, hey, I've been through the bad, because everyone has. And that's the only way you can come to the good, is if you felt that some sort of failure.
It's lived experience.
Like 100%.
A lot of people are discounting like you have the degree, you have the education, you have the job title, but you also have on the job learning and lived experience.
Of course, we're
Stop
humans.
not sharing the lived experience. I often, like, when it comes to like even bios, like people are like, how did you get into this? 8 years of lived experience.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't forget, yes, I went to school for this, but it's 8 years of like studying, researching, showing up, and really being passionate about certain things. And I'm like, this is all lived experience.
Absolutely.
And I can't discount it. But I love that you said shortcomings, because it brings to the forefront the discomfort. It sheds light on the discomfort, and additionally, the shame of the failure or the shortcomings is exposed, and you have to expose that in order for you to be able to assess it, positive or negative, and not kind of sit in it being this, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Like, now you can actually look at it and be strategic and be like, you know what? Wow.
And adapt.
Adapt,
yeah.
pivot, evolve. So this conversation with Aala Buisier, how can people stay connected to you? Check out the villas. We're going to put the link in this actual like video at the bottom of this video, so that you guys can directly go to their website and see these beautiful villas that are all essentially different in their own way. I can't wait to tour one.
Yes,
I'm gonna let you know.
And you're gonna come to our next villa party.
I'm coming to the next villa party, but I'm also somewhere like, subscribe, and share so that Jas can purchase a villa of her.
I'm like, me too. Add me to the list.
Right, and then we'll invite y'all to the villa party. And be like, yo, thank you, celebrate. I'm not kidding at all. Like, I've been manifesting things. So how can people stay connected to you?
So I'm pretty private on Instagram, but you can always follow me at Aala Buisier. But I'm very active on our company page, which is at Buisier Dev. And I feel like that's where you see most of me. And if you scroll through the social media, you'll see me, my brothers, you'll see my dog, you'll see a lot of action that happens in there.
Yeah, they're connecting to a personal, intentional, heartfelt brand.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us today. As I shared with you guys, discomfort is the way home. Today's episode really was about building and creating homes from an intentional space. So as we always lead you to somewhere that doesn't always feel the coziest, but you will have a comfortable conversation, it's Jas Kirk. It's been fun.